Hi, I'm Dr. Water. I'm a doctor, the kind who keeps working adults healthy, occupational, and preventive medicine. That image of a giant humanoid looking down over the wall, the first time I saw it, along with the fear, I couldn't help thinking something else. Could that body even stand under its own weight? Occupational hazard. Big things are strong. As a kid, I sort of believed that. But making a body bigger is, for a living thing, not such a one-sidedly good deal. So today, not as a review of the series, but as a story that connects to your body, I'll check the math against real biomechanics and endocrine medicine. The short version up front: a human scaled straight up would probably be crushed by its own bones. But a body getting bigger, the phenomenon itself, does exist in real medicine. I'm not here to judge the series. I'm here to ask, if a human body did this, what would really happen? And back every medical claim with a paper. Could a giant human even stand under its own weight? Up front, no, it couldn't hold. The Titans are, roughly, a body kept in human shape but scaled up enormously, several meters, and the big ones in the tens of meters. So if you scale a human's shape straight up, what happens to the bones? Here's where the square cube law bites. In a similar shape, same form, only the size changed. If height goes up n times, surface area and bone cross-section go up n superscript 2, while volume and weight go up n superscript 3. It's the geometry principle running back to Galileo. Make it 10 times taller, and it's about 1,000 times heavier. The problem is that bone, the pillar holding the body up, can't keep up with that increase. Double the height and body weight, volume, goes up 8 times, but bone cross-section only 4 times. As a result, the stress on the bone, force per unit area, roughly doubles. Scale up the same design, and the bone becomes an ever more snap-prone pillar. And the margin wasn't big to begin with. Mammalian limb bones take stress of about 25 to 50% of their breaking strength just from walking and running, with a safety factor of only about 2 to 4. Simple scaling eats that thin margin instantly. A body scaled to tens of meters in human shape would, never mind running, more naturally be expected to fail at the leg bones the moment it stood up. Takeaway: big equals sturdy is false. The bigger you get, the more delicate relative to your weight the body becomes. This isn't only a Titan story. It connects to your knees when your weight goes up, CQ2. But elephants stand. Yes, but not in human form. But elephants stand, you think. True, big mammals do stand and walk. But they didn't get big without changing their shape. Large animals keep bone stress roughly constant not just by thickening bone, but by taking a more upright, pillar-like limb posture that raises the leverage efficiency of the muscles. An elephant's stocky legs running straight down aren't a design quirk. They're a mechanical necessity. Conversely, staying in human form, thin legs, pinched joints, while only getting bigger means stress only climbs. And there's a second cost of carrying a heavy body on land. It shows up in the joints. As weight rises, mechanical load on weight-bearing joints like the knee increases, contact stress on cartilage climbs, and the risk and progression of osteoarthritis rise. Being overweight is considered one of the most important preventable factors for knee osteoarthritis. So even if a Titan could stand, its knees would take an immense load every single step. If the Titans in the series move oddly unstable and stiff, medically, that might be an honest depiction. Takeaway: this one applies straight to real you. Add just a few kilograms, and the burden on your knee cartilage climbs steadily. The plainest, surest way to protect your knees is not to gain too much weight. Less flashy than a finishing move, but this one really works. Does a body gets bigger disease actually exist? Yes, and genuinely so. I've been saying scaling up is impossible, but a body becoming larger than usual, the phenomenon itself, does exist in real medicine. And it's a real state that people once feared or misunderstood as giants. This is not a place for jokes, so I'll write it carefully. A small organ at the base of the brain, the pituitary, can develop a tumor that overproduces growth hormone, GH. If that excess occurs in childhood, while the bone's growth plates are still open, it can produce striking tall stature, gigantism. If it occurs in an adult after the plates have closed, the hands, feet, and facial features enlarge, acromegaly. This is the representative, real mechanism behind a body getting bigger. Among people called giants in history, some genuinely lived with this GH excess, a pituitary tumor, as recent genetic analysis shows. DNA taken from the tooth of the 18th century figure known as the Irish giant was found to carry a mutation in a gene called AIP that predisposes to pituitary tumors. Not monsters in a story, real people who lived with a hormonal disorder. Not, in any way, targets to mock for their appearance. Takeaway: getting bigger has a genuine medical mechanism. Fantasy scaling is impossible, but this condition is worth knowing as a doorway into the real system of endocrinology. And the next question is the most important part. What happens to a body that has grown large? Is a big heart a strong heart? Straight-faced here. Moving a huge body needs a pump that sends that much blood everywhere. A big heart. So is big heart equals powerful? Here's the scariest part of medicine. The answer is no. When the growth hormones GH and IGF-1 are chronically in excess, the heart muscle hypertrophies and fibrosis, a stiffening change. Add high blood pressure, disordered glucose metabolism, and body-wide inflammation, and the result is that cardiovascular complications become a leading cause of death in acromegaly. What does the enlarged heart do? In the state called acromegalic cardiomyopathy, the heart wall thickens inward, concentric left ventricular hypertrophy, and first the capacity to expand and hold blood falls, diastolic dysfunction. Left untreated, it eventually loses even the power to contract and push blood out, progressing to systolic heart failure. A thick, enlarged heart is not necessarily a strong heart. More often, it's a heart losing its ability to keep circulation going. Because this is a safety matter, I'll be blunt. The idea that bigger makes you stronger, muscles, organs, all better big, is, for the heart, clearly wrong. A thick heart wall isn't necessarily a sign of trained strength. It can be the result of strain. If a checkup flags cardiac enlargement and it worries you, don't leave it or push in a hard exercise on your own judgment. Consult your own physician. And there is real hope. If the biochemical control of the GH excess is achieved, mortality in acromegaly can return to the level of the general population. The problems of a body grown large have room to be recovered through treatment. That's worth emphasizing. Takeaway: size isn't strength. For the heart, having grown large can itself be a sign of strain, and catching it early and acting can reduce that strain. A titan scaled straight up probably can't stand. The bones lose to their own weight, the knees grind, and the heart, the bigger it gets, grows not easier but harder. Big equals strong is, in a living body, mostly the reverse. But this doesn't end as a monster story. As you get heavier, the burden on your knees climbs. A thickened heart can be a sign of strain, not strength. This is a story about all of us staring at our checkup numbers. And a body getting bigger, as a condition, has real medicine and real room to recover. Manga is a doorway into how strange the human body is. And the real body is far more interesting than you'd guess. See you at the next checkup. Thanks for watching. I'm Dr. Water. Subscribe for the next body check, and I'll see you at the next appointment.